This is Georgia doing the smoke monster from Lost. This good video is going to start with that.
All of my like unhappiness in my life comes down to I have a problem with the difference between the way things are and the way I would like them to be. You just accept that things aren't the way you want them to be, then everything's fine, isn't it? I think that the water pump inside the engine is broken, so it can't physically pull water, or that's the reason why there's no smoke or anything coming through. So we got the engineer over to fix the engine, and I was right, the water pump had disintegrated, so he replaced that, turned the engine on, still didn't work. So at this point he said, well, I guess the pipe pulling the water into the engine must be blocked on the outside of the boat. How do we unblock that? We have to have the boat craned out of the water. So I was thinking, well, what are we going to do? We're just going to have to deal with very slowly moving every time the engine overheats. Go, oh, we have to stop now, park up, let the engine cool itself down. It's got itself into a bit of a flap. No, I decided, fuck it. I'm getting in the engine and I'm fixing this boat myself. I crawled around in there with a screwdriver, tugged on pipes and wires and things, and one of the pipes just came loose in my hand. Obviously that was the problem. The pipe that's supposed to pull the water through was just not attached. So I screwed it on and now it works. And I would have gone to a boatyard and had the whole boat airlifted onto dry land just for a qualified expert to look at the outside of the boat and go, it's fine, here's the bill. Oh, it would have been so awful. Anyway, now it runs like a fucking dream, except that we have an oil leak and so the bill's just full of oil. One problem at a time. The hatch door got fixed as well. Everyone, thank you. Yes, thank you. So they welded that on and they painted the door and it looks beautiful. I think where I left off, last week I was going to see the midnight screening of Star Wars The Last Jedi in the IMAX at Leicester Square, which was definitely an eventful experience, culminating in a surprise appearance from the director of the film. I say culminating, that was really the... He did that when the film started, so... Let's all watch the Star Wars! I guess that wasn't the culmination. The culmination was seeing the actual bloody movie. And then continuing to have a Star Wars themed weekend, I then went to Feltham with my cousins. Why don't we just go to the pub?
I think we should go. I don't know, why don't we go to the pub, Danny? You're the one that's walked past. Exactly what's going to happen. Danny told us to continue walking. We're going to drive down this road later. A breakfast pub. You're going to see the cafe. So where there'd be a better breakfast pub, and there wasn't a better breakfast pub.
Right, who wants to explain why we're in Feltham at 10 AM? Anyone?
I think he has to explain. The most iconic villain of all time.
So there's this guy called David Prowse. David Prowse played Darth Vader. Specifically, he was the person in the Darth Vader costume in the original 3 Star Wars movies. He's from the West Country. So on set, you can see these videos of him recording the original lines. It just sounds like, tear the ship apart. Like, it's not Darth Vader's voice, right? In Return of the Jedi, they were gonna have a scene where they unmask Darth Vader. If you've seen Return of the Jedi, you'll know. And he was really excited about that because he thought, finally, this hugely successful movie trilogy where I'm this unknown person playing a really amazing, famous figure, I'll finally be able to get the credit and recognition that I feel like I've earned, you know, and everyone will get to see the real person playing Darth Vader. And then they hired someone else to play Darth Vader under his mask. They had the autograph of the guy that they hired to be not David Prowse at the event with it. That is shit, isn't it? So Darth Vader was played by 3 people in the original trilogy. The body, the face, and the voice. I said to Georgia, when I said, oh, they didn't reveal the guy who's actually playing him in his body, she said, well, why didn't they get the guy whose voice it was? And I said, well, because then it would have felt very odd that he was Luke's father, because it was a huge black guy called James L. Jones. Luke is many things, but not mixed race. That's not one of the things that he is.
That's the most Alex and Star Wars. It's like my 2 loves combined.
We were there because Alan is a big Star Wars nerd.
Any line of dialogue, like when he says, "You may fire when ready," is overdubbed and from behind, and they use shots from early on in the film.
We played this game with him where we picked up obscure figures, and can I just point at the price on that action figure, by the way, which has never been opened. We covered up the name of the character and we just tried to see if he could guess who these random background people were from Star Wars, and he fucking got it right.
It's either Klaatu Barada or Nikto.
Oh, how did you know that?
It was actually, fun fact,
yeah.
It's Klaatu Barada Nikto is the thing that Alien says on the day that Earth stood still when it comes out of the thing. So George Lucas, as a homage, or homage, did that. He said,
your definition of a fun fact is...
Alan went to this event because he has this Empire Strikes Back poster and he wanted to get as many of the original cast of Empire Strikes Back to sign his poster as possible. And he's already missed Carrie Fisher. He's never going to get that now. And so he thought, right, I better... if I'm going to do this, I better start getting on with it. And David Prowse is, I mean, he's pretty old now. He's in a wheelchair, he's on crutches. He's more machine than man, I'm sad to say. He breathes like Darth Vader, which at first I thought was just an affectation, so that we really knew it was him, you know, because he's very protective. Like, he wants people to know he is Darth Vader. He signs things, David Prowse, Darth Vader, you know. So maybe he just breathes like him just to get the point across. But nah, man, he's old. It's really bad. But Alan managed to get him to sign his poster, and so he's very pleased. You can see him negotiating with this guy. Please let me backstage to get David Prowse to sign my poster, but he managed it. And then we found out that Alan isn't into Harry Potter, and so Danny had this idea to give him a Pottermore quiz without telling him that it was the Pottermore quiz.
Once every century, the flutterby bush produces flowers. The flutterby bush produces flowers, adapts their scent to attract the unwary.
To what?
Attract the unwary.
What does it do to attract the unwary?
Adapts their scent.
My scent.
Their scent.
The bush adapts.
One sense, two sense.
Right. So the bush smells different.
Yeah.
Oh, to attract people.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it lured you, it would smell.
It wouldn't lure me.
It would smell.
Because why am I in this enchanted garden? It wouldn't lure me. Because I'm not that thick.
The question is, like, what smell would lure you in? Yeah. Basically, that's what it's getting at.
I've got a choice of smells.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all multiple choice.
A crackling log fire. Right. So a crackling log fire, fresh parchment,
right,
home,
right,
or the sea.
Have you ever smelled fresh parchment? No one has.
Last 6 questions. They're all like one or two. Okay.
Yeah.
So dawn or dusk?
What?
Dawn or dusk?
In what way? Dusk is when it's about to get dark.
Yes. Dawn is when it's about to get light.
At dusk.
Right. Moon or stars?
What?
Moon or stars?
Well, they're both there.
Do you like me to submit the answers?
Yeah. Oh, is that all been added up?
All been added up.
It's just general knowledge. I thought it was just like.
The result, Alan, is that you are a Hufflepuff.
Oh no, no!
I'm a Hufflepuff, that helps.
You are Hufflepuff too?
Yeah. Yes, mate.
Tomorrow, Georgia and I are off to a silent meditation retreat for 2 weeks. Hopefully the boat will not have sunk or exploded by the time we get home, and then I'll start arranging boat trips and lunches. I tried to arrange them in December, but no one was free because it was Christmas, so maybe I'll see some of you next year. Adios. That was shit.